Taking a turn real quick. Did you know and work with Jimmy Wilson Jr.?
I knew Jimmy not extremely well. I worked down at Crossroads Mall security, and they had what was called the stop unit down there, strategy to overcome peer pressure. So it was a unit, a different division, and Jimmy was brand new. Of course, his dad had been on, and just
yeah, of course,
iconic, homicide investigator, old school cop. And Jimmy was one of the nicest kids you could ever meet. Just a super good dude, very friendly. I didn't know him that well, but so much so, he was such a nice guy that I remember going out downtown. I was at a bar. And I couldn't believe he remembered me. I'd met him several times and bullshitted with him, but he saw me from afar and he goes, "What's up, Shay?" Waved, whatever, bullshitted with him for a few minutes. Just a super down-to-earth, great dude.
Yeah.
What tragic.
Was there, I've heard this story before, and I don't know if this is just Omaha lore, that's not true at all, but I had heard that, tell me if you've ever heard this. Supposedly, he was such a good cop that he had a hit out on him from gangs. Now, is that just made up lore? That's probably not true.
I mean, I could be completely wrong, but Jimmy was far too new to have established himself into some specialty unit and to have garnered a name for himself. But I could be completely wrong.
I had someone tell me that, he was new. He had made such a name for himself. He was a threat. And so when he pulled this van over, that there was a hit out on him and they had unloaded. But it kind of seems like it was more they freaked out and ran. I mean, these kids were like 17, 18 when they have like automatic weapons and he pulled them over and they just unloaded them.
SKS is a Chinese version of the AK-47, and it was South Family Bloods. Jimmy pulled them over, and I think they were headed to do a drive-by, and a couple of them, I can't remember the name of the shooter, bailed out of the sliding door, the right side of the van, and then opened fire. I saw the photographs. It was terrible.
Was there anything he could have done to, did he pull up too close, you think, or was it just that's just...
No, I don't think so. I mean, he was shot while still putting the call out, but I mean, I can tell you that for most cops who pay attention to that sort of thing, it's a learning experience and you utilize that. And anytime you pull a vehicle over, at least I do this or did this along with lots of friends of mine who really took officer safety very, very seriously and were good, exceptional cops. When you make a traffic stop, and I worked the K9 unit with Douglas County, so I worked interdiction. So all I did for years is work the interstate, going after traffickers. And any car that I would pull over, if I saw furtive movement, it took them a little bit longer to pull over, whatever the case is. I'd look for all those different signs, pre-incident indicators that would cause me to handle that traffic stop a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I was always very cautious and always played out in my head, what if this happens? Where am I going for cover? If I have to bail out of my cruiser. So seatbelt would come off before I even came to a full stop. I'd be off the radio and hung up on the mic before I even stopped. As long as they start pulling over, I hit out. And then I've got my door unlatched and I'm ready to bail if I have to, because I'm not going to be caught in that.
So if something like that were to happen, what are the options for a cop? Because I feel like that's like what do they call the car? The death trap or whatever.
Yeah, it can be. So there's a couple different ideologies behind this. In fact, we teach a class right there, HTV, high threat vehicle engagements. And in fact, that's me on the back of the truck.
Is it?
So yeah.
Oh yeah.
You look good in that photo.
Thank you. We teach a class, a 4 or 5 day course that entails fighting in, over, under, through vehicles, teaching where the points of cover are, A pillar, B pillar, C pillar, how to maneuver around that vehicle. But the most important part is to take the fight to them.
Yep.
So you have usually a few seconds before they bail and start putting rounds under the car, is if you can start engaging that threat
through your windshield,
right? Yep. Right. Try to port a hole through there, and we'll teach where the round is going to go as it punches through the windshield.
Yep.
Any idea?
Yeah. So I know that if you're outside the vehicle versus inside the vehicle, the trajectories are different. What I always forget is which way, and I could be wrong on this, but it's
picture
either
me standing in front of the vehicle 10, 15 feet.
Yeah.
Where are you going to aim to hit me center mass?
It's either higher or lower, and I think if you're in the vehicle, I'm going to go a little bit higher.
I'm going to go lower.
Lower.
All right. See, I get it mixed up, but I know you have to
path
offset
of least
that.
resistance. As it goes through the windshield, the round is deflected up. If you're shooting into the windshield, depending upon your different left and right angle, it doesn't matter what your distance is from that vehicle, that angle is always going to be the same.
Yep.
So if I want to shoot somebody center mass, I'm going to aim for their head.
Yep.
So it's easier to ambush a vehicle than it is to defend a vehicle.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. I knew it was either up or down. Yeah. I know it's not straight on, you know, but yeah.
And the further they are from the vehicle, the lower you have to shoot. And under extreme duress, you're not aiming. It's pointed fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under extreme duress, unless you're Delta Force or Special Forces or somebody.
Where your blood pressure doesn't even go up.
Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
your pulse.
You have time, distance, cover, that sort of thing.